G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an objective rifle. If I was to explain this weapon mod in just one word, I would say flexible. The objective rifle offers a very modular and customizable weapon platform for you to do pretty much everything. A jack of all trades, master of none type deal, or master of everything. We'll have to find out going over this thing a little bit later once we get into the gameplay. But you can have this thing fire in multiple different styles. You've got a 3-round burst. You've also got semi-automatic and fully automatic like you'd expect any other weapon mod to have. You can chamber this thing in light, heavy, and medium calibers. So your 5mm are your lights, your mediums are 5.56s, and your heavies will be 44 Magnum rounds or 12.7mm rounds, depending on whether you got the munitions patch installed, which I do have that. And when all else fails, you need even more firepower than that, you can install a 25mm grenade launcher on the top of this just for good measure. And it's implemented in a way that we haven't seen before, and that's just like T6M to do a little bit of experimentation when it comes to weapon mods. But who knows, maybe this is going to be the superior way to utilize grenade launchers in Fallout 4 weapon mods, and this might be a real trailblazing, pioneering type weapon, allowing or just seeing that concept play out. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but we'll have learned something at the end of the day, and we'll have to get to exactly how that works a little bit later on. But daylight is burning. Let's go ahead and check out the attachments. Now, like I said, this thing has a burst receiver here. I'm not sure whether that runs off rifleman or commando, but we can test that if we want to use a scope and a burst fire receiver at the same time. If we get knockdowns, rifleman. If we don't, commando. Pretty easy. Now, if we scroll down here to the more powerful receivers, hardened bursts. There's also hardened piercing, powerful automatics, advanced burst receivers. That's pretty cool. We've also got an overpowered receiver here, which is your strongest semi-auto receiver. Not kind of weird there's no advanced receivers, but I suppose it is taking the place of that. Let's just go with an advanced burst receiver because, you know, it's shiny and new and we all love burst fire weapons. Next, we've got barrels. Now, what we're going to do is chuck on the longest barrel possible here, the marksman barrel. Probably do not as good for at least like a VATS AP usage, but that range is going to make it very consistent, very accurate in VATS over a distance, so that's what we'll do. And for the stocks, here we go. It gets a little bit more interesting here because this one looks like a Scar H stock, a little bit. There's also versions of this with vanilla game assets, and here is where you can install the grenade launcher module, which turns it into like a bullpup grenade launcher. There's the magazine there. Interesting, right? So we'll throw that on. There's a massive weight penalty to having that on, obviously, but, you know, that makes sense. It's a giant grenade module stacked on the top of that. But yeah, there we go. We've got a dual barrel weapon with a grenade launcher on the top. Instead of under barrel, it's over barrel. What a time to be alive. And now we can go over the calibers. So right now, the 5mm rounds that we've got installed on this thing have improved armor penetration. There's quick eject versions and drum versions of that. The 5.56s will offer you better damage with quick eject and drum versions, and sometimes a mixture of both, like this one here. And the heavy caliber is your 12.7mm rounds, which we go for a quick eject drum. I said drum, not rum. I'm not an alcoholic. Don't worry about it. That will slow down our rate of fire, but our damage is going to be very, very good per shot. And yep, that's some munitions patching right there for the 12.7mm rounds from Fallout New Vegas, I believe, and possibly from the 2D Fallouts. But I'm a poser. I've never played them. Anyway, so it looks like we've got a laser sight. If you want to aim with this thing, sights at all, that's kind of cool. There's also holographics, which you might feel like they're kind of familiar. They look like degenerate DAX scopes and stuff, so that's pretty good. All of these assets, they keep popping up everywhere, and I think that's they're worth having on your guns if you can't get anything else. If you can get them, they're high quality optics, so you may as well get them. Let's go for a combat side on this thing. We've already got a long barrel and a burst fire receiver, so we won't go overboard on the scopes on this thing, although I will say 14 times is quite massive for a scope. That's 4 times more than usual. I believe the longest versions that you get in Fallout 4 vanilla game is times 10 multiplied scopes. Now, you can have some recoil control elements on your barrel, compensators, heavy versions therein, or you can throw a suppressor on. We're going to do that one because I love sneaky, stealthy, snipery suppressed guns. Next, we've got a legendary effect provided by a legendary modification. Deadeye on this thing would be awesome, but I will refrain from that. And we'll enable the grenade launcher setup. 67 base splash damage. That's neat. We'll have double that thanks to, what's it called? Demolitions Expert. Alright, so I'm going to have to make myself a few rounds here and get a couple more objective rifles so we can cover all of the potential options that you might want to use an objective rifle for. But we'll get started as soon as we're done here. I'll show you how to get them first, though. That's important. On your chemistry station under objective rifle, normally you'll only get the option to craft the ammo switching thing, which will allow you to switch between grenades or bullets on the fly. Very elegant. And we've also got the settings holotape, which will allow you to access settings all over the mod. You can craft these rifles if you go into that holotape that you see here and go into the debug mode, which will allow you to create preset weapons, which we'll be utilizing because, the pretty cool look, the PDW, that's cool. There's also a cool sniper status version. The service run looks a little bit like a SCAR, so that definitely helps. We'll also be utilizing an LMG version too. I think that's good. We'll leave the ACR and the AR ones on the floor though. We've already got something to cover that sort of role in the service and the PDW things. But yeah, what we'll be using is these ones, but yeah, you can't craft them normally. You have to go into your settings and debug. Objective rifle is injected onto the level list. I'm here at Claire's and I've found one. This 5.56 version will start spawning at level 25, but there are lesser caliber versions that spawn even earlier. But we'll take this 5.56 one. Thank you very much. Almost $1,500. Better be quickly go over the functionality of the inbuilt grenade launcher. Also, side note, weapon works with classic holstered weapons. You love to see it. Works pretty well. And here's our objective rifle in first person. First of all, we want to equip the grenade, which we'll go through a reload animation. You'll see that we've got 6 grenades now. We can fire this thing like normal. And if we use the grenade button, Alt on PC, you can fire little grenades. Look at that. And then you can even reload the bullets at the same time, which will reload your grenades as well. If you fire 0 bullets, you can still reload this thing. No, you can't. Okay, so it looks like you'll have to fire some bullets if you want to top up the grenade launcher magazine. But, as you can tell, we can alternate between firing burst and firing grenades, which we haven't quite seen before. And this is the experimental and buggy mode, and it's working out pretty well at the moment. So, this might be something worth looking at in the future. Obviously, using this thing in third person, you can't do it. As soon as I even scroll in third person, it just forces me back into first because obviously it wouldn't work otherwise. And I think if you do force it into third person, what'll happen is it'll just go through a random, like a normal grenade through animation, which is not quite what you'd want to see out of this thing. But firing grenades and shooting like that, that's pretty awesome. Welcome back to the Immersive Gunners Plaza. We've already seen what this thing looks like in first person, so we've disabled the grenade launcher to take a quick look at this thing in third person. And when you fire, there's 3-round bursts coming out. You can see the unspent cartridges in there, and the ejection port opens up and goes back. I believe that would be following the bolts then, or the charging handle. I guess is that the bolt? I'm not particularly 100% confident with gun terminology, but you get the idea. Now, I'm going to have to use the Pip-Boy to change weapons here, because once I switch over to this grenade version and disable the grenades or enable them, it just destroys all my hotkeys. So we have to switch back to the standard way of doing it, which means we're going to have to go back to the Pip-Boy every time. So this one's got the advanced burst receiver too. Same animations, of course. This one a little bit more compact without the gigantic grenade launcher on the top. A little bit like a SCAR H. Mainly the stock and possibly up to where the trigger guard ends is where this thing looks like a SCAR. It sort of falls off, but you can absolutely belt the trigger on burst fire mode and you'll never jam this thing. So I think that's kind of interesting, but worth mentioning that you can get this thing to fire extremely fast. Probably faster than what you can with fully automatic if you choose to use this thing burst fire, depending on whether you got a fast enough trigger finger to actually pull that off. Here's the sniper status version. It's got that 14 times scope. I believe this scope overlay is in fact in the vanilla game, but it's not used, so modders take advantage of that, and it looks like it's a brand new thing, but when actually it isn't. And that's what the sniper version looks like. Big cartridges falling out of that one. This one's chambered in the 12.7mm rounds, of course. And of course, we've got our LMG version. big drum magazine on this one, 5.56 rounds, no suppressor, and just the standard stock. Whatever it showed up on with the workbench, I've just changed the receivers on most of these. And of course, we've also got the PDW version, big drum magazine full of 5mm rounds, and it appears to be using the same projectile as the minigun, which, yeah, it's 5mm, but you don't get that kind of fireball effect with literally any other version of bullets, so that's kind of interesting. Anyways, we'll start off by burst firing a behemoth from back here. Yep, pretty good weapon. Now, what we're going to do to start off with is we're going to do a little bit of sniping. So, as a reminder, you probably saw it on the screen just then, 324 damage with this thing. It's pretty darn good as a starting point. Definitely out-damaging the handmade. Obviously, our ammo capacity won't be quite as good in comparison, but that doesn't matter. Looks like I just picked up a sniper knockdown there as we go ahead and get some cheap, easy VATS kills there, or VAFs, slow motion bullet time VATS. I should be picking up some gun fu bonuses here, actually. Even if I'm not, I'll be picking up random criticals as they come along. We did a pretty good run there. Obviously, we're not going to be quite as fast as a handmade, and then the ammo capacity is significantly less. Which means, when you get to a situation where you're not taking advantage of the sneak criticals, then it's not quite as impressive. Let's move over to our burst fire version. Perhaps firing from a little bit too far out of range at this stage. There's a argument to getting a little bit closer at this stage. But I think what we're waiting for is the grenades. So I'll quickly reload this thing, enable the grenades, and we're going to start throwing them off the wall. Is that going to work? Okay, there it is. Did it. Took a while, but now we can start throwing grenades. That gunner is grenade proof. There we go. I think I just two-fanged that. There we go. Had to hit behind that guy. I think I was hitting the thing in front of him. So, it might take a while to get used to the trajectory and the drop of this thing. But, oh, that one went right through. A bit of a misfire grenade there. But it appears it's got quite enough damage to get the job done in most situations. And if I were to have them all gathered up at the start and take advantage of them whilst they're all grouped up, I think I'll have zero trouble with this thing whilst there's two grenades or gunners over there. May as well finish them off with bullets, to be honest. And hit them whilst they're behind a corner. Cop that, mate. What are you doing? Alright, this is a perfect time to switch over to the next rifle. We'll go for our Scar-looking version. And whiff absolutely everything. Look, there's an argument that I should have just put a drum mag on everything, but I want to show off the different magazines. A 30-round magazine. Plus, this one doesn't clip quite so bad when you reload, or the reload animation is more suited to a stick magazine. So the DPS on this thing, you can do a pretty good job with it. Perhaps Master was a little bit ambitious. I think Jack of all trades is perfectly reasonable for this weapon. It doesn't feel completely overpowered, but it feels strong enough to put up a decent fight, and the ability just to absolutely belt the trigger to make it work. Was that an objective rifle? Yes! There we go. Leveled injection. So, yep, you can get it from gunners and other enemies as well. But, yep, they're carrying this thing, so you might be able to find some cool combinations on your gunner foes that you drop. Let's move over to LMG status now. Where we're going to hold down the trigger for days. You can make your heavy Team Fortress 2 references here. I was about to say Transformers, but no. I don't think there was a heavy weapons guy in that movie. It was Hound, I think, who did that. In Transformers 4, where I stopped caring because I realized these movies sucked, and there wasn't even Megan Fox in the fourth one, or the third one, but that British healer that they got was good enough, so I didn't mind. Anyways, we'll keep on using this one. What are you shooting at? Don't know. Oh, there's some Rust Devils down there. What's this thing's range game like? Well, okay, I guess. We'll probably see the rest of them later. And I think this is the perfect moment to bring out our PDW status version. So what we'll do is is we'll breach this. And then do it like Call of Duty. Slow motion. A serious stranger. He spawned right in front and I chopped him down as soon as he come in. Now, I gotta say, the 5mm bullets here are kind of disappointing. I would have thought the armor penetration, sorry, would have been a little bit more suited to this. I could have thrown a suppressor on this thing just to boost its damage a little bit further than what we're seeing here. But yeah, I'm kind of getting my ass handed to me using this thing. So maybe we put this one away and we go back to our burst fire one. Looks like we're ready for Nerd Rage. Try to take advantage of this as much as we can. Get a little bit of regen going. Now, who's down there? I see you. Alright, perfect moment to use the grenade. So, we'll sit up top and lob them from high. Just gotta be careful not to hurt ourselves whilst using this. Oh, there's someone around. It's a hit. Now, there are different flavors of grenades. It was a misfire again. A little bit of junk coming out. In practice, though, so, you know, it's bound to happen. Easily fixable stuff, I would believe, but yeah, I think it's a pretty cool system and utilized properly. I mean, we could have like proper under barrel or over barrel shotguns as well. That would be really cool if they could implement that, because it's just, I mean, maybe that might be difficult because perhaps it's easier to make believe we're lobbing a grenade using the sort of grenade animations or whatever than it would be to fire a shotgun shell. But who knows? Maybe significant steps have been made to really utilizing a under barrel weapon system, or over barrel in this case, to actually make it seamless and work extremely well as it is. So that's pretty good. And if I put the weapon away, I can use third person. Isn't that great? All right, so that went pretty well. What can I say about this weapon that I haven't really said already? It feels good. Its damage is good enough. So yeah, it's good sign so far. Let's push it to its limits. All right, first things first, we're gonna get a grenade and try to hit the mutant suicider here. That seemed to do the job. Now, unfortunately, if I'm not firing the grenades as like a primary thing, I can't use that just to stack grenades rapidly on the swan or anything like that. But what I could do is this. Damn it, he's getting, someone's over there. I'm hoping for a sniper knockdown here, or sneak criticals in general. It's not happening, is it? There it is. Okay, I think I bopped 1,000 damage somehow. I must have shot him in the head, but now, here's how this is gonna work. We're not gonna grenade this guy, we're just gonna cheaply plink at him from way beyond where he can detect us. And you know what? We've got all of these, VATS criticals. Let's utilize them. 2076. That was a reference to the year Boston won the world championship of the baseball. I was about to say Super Bowl, but no, that's the wrong sport. That's NFL, not baseball FL. Baseball Football League. It's a real thing. Look it up. So we'll just spam on the trigger here. And I think at this stage, let's try to coast him back and maybe toss some grenades his way. I went right through the carriage. We'll test the limits of this thing's collision detection. Probably a good thing we had to reload the grenades there, because I think he would have been close enough to actually damage me at that stage. Okay, I think at this stage it is better to shoot him. Here's what we'll do. We'll shoot him as much as possible, and whilst the AP regenerates, or doesn't regenerate, we'll toss some grenades his way. Look, crabs, eat them. Oh, make me angry. You wouldn't like me when you're angry. See, you're not the only giant monster around here. I turn giant and green, and I make a show and I twerk and piss people off on the internet or something. That's what happened in She-Hulk, right? Anyways, so that was Swan, and we did pretty well there. But I want to see what I can do with a more stealthy approach utilizing the burst fire receiver. So we'll try that next. All right, burst fire, let's go. Do I want to use criticals to supplement the damage? Maybe. Maybe just slow-mo. I see the magazine still disappeared. A little bit of a bug thanks to the grenade launchers, I believe, but not a deal breaker. You know what? I've already killed the mysterious stranger, so may as well do it again. If I kill him like 74 more times, I think we'll be even, because that fucker's caused me a great deal of pain before, because I can't exit vessels he's going. Looks like we get a guaranteed stagger when we use it against the Wendigo, which is pretty helpful, mind you. And whoops. Just finish him off that way. I was gonna finish him off with a grenade and send him sky high, but I think that'll be quite enough from him. All right, well that worked out pretty well. Still liking the use of grenades. Wonder if you can get NPCs to use them. Like, well, actually, no, I don't think you can get the grenades to work properly. You can't actually get them to switch over to the grenades. What a waste of a critical that was. So we can't get it back. That's helpful. Do I call backup in for the last monster? Yeah, why not? Also, you might want to get that checked out. Normally, you don't, like, shoot blood out of your wound like that. That's the weird thing that happens with bloat flies sometimes. It just keeps going and going and going, and I'm not sure why. Alright, the last target is going to be that Red Roach. Brought along Nuke World gang. Kira's got the sniper version, Carla's got the PDW, and Camille, come here. She's got the Scar H version as a burst fire receiver. Let's actually, I don't know if they're going to utilize it with burst fire. We'll have to see how they go. It'd be funny if they just mag dumped it. Anyway, there's Roachzilla. We're going to defeat the Roachzilla and then rescue Princess Winter. He's guarding Princess Winter. So everyone, like, take him out. Kill him. Don't let him eat you. Oh, nice. He just bashed him. He went halfway across the Commonwealth. No, you got eaten. Bad. Bloody hell. Oh, Mysterious Stranger's out again. Well, I'm gonna make it a trend out of this. Take him out. Hoping for a sniper knockdown. Kira must be hip firing. No! No, oh, no, he's after me. Carla, please. Draw his fire. Wait, what's that supposed to mean, Carla? No, I got eaten! Someone revive me. Oh, we are so back. And, we good? I think he's not aggro anymore. Okay, the last monster of today will be Roachzilla. He's guarding his terrible castle and holding one of the angels prisoner. We gotta rescue Princess Winter. And we've got backup. We've got Nuke World gang. So here's Carla. She's got the PDW version. Kira's got the sniper, so she'll probably stand back and try to get sniper knockdowns on it. She can totally get those. And lastly, Camille, she's got the service PDW version, which service scar version looking thing. I wonder if you actually use the burst fire on it. We'll have to see how that goes. But there's Roachzilla. We'll go into bullet time bats and then try to get as many hits on him as possible. Oh, the Mysterious Stranger showed up again, so we've got to take him out. Just after this reload. There we go. It's a trend now. I'm going to start doing that every time he shows up. Alright, looks like he's running right after Camille. Let's try to defend them. We've got Carla and Camille backed in a corner here. I just realized that all of them start with the same sort of noise. Carla, Camille, Kira. But the only one that's different is Victoria, Vikkie for short. That's the one I'm playing as. Oh, Mysterious Stranger again. Get out of here. And for whatever reason, Mr. Radroach there is completely stalled. Whoops, he's going after me now. I'm going to stand near Kira. Yeah, that'll help. I think Carla's going to bring Camille back. At least they should, unless they're just going to stand there. What's going on here? Gonna shoot this rad roach up the bum until he dies. There we go.
That it?
Well, I guess that is it, but I didn't expect him to stall like that, but it is what it is, and now we can rescue the princess. You're free now. You gonna say anything about it?
We may have liberated the Commonwealth, but our job is far from over.
We? You did nothing. You're the damsel in distress, and now you're rescued. Anyways, so that's a job well done. We can all go back to base, have fish and chips or something, get some ramen burgers. That's nice. Also, did anyone bring up Camille? Is she still over here? Who knows? Oh, there she is. All right, we're good. So that there was the objective rifle. It's definitely worth a download. Check it out. It's been updated fairly regularly. So the time I've got, you probably saw it earlier, but this is like hotfix number 6. So that shows me that there's plenty of fixing that they've done with this thing, and shows me that they're keen to do even more fixing down the line. If I had to have any criticisms, I'd say that the 5mm ammo just isn't doing quite enough damage, and that might just be because I picked a bad receiver though. But maybe giving a little bit more damage in combat, just make it a little bit more usable. Or maybe it's supposed to be just a low tier round that you get rid of fairly early on. So maybe that is where it is for a reason, and if it is there for that reason, then that's fine. There's really not much I can say to this mod's detriment. So if you'd like to see this weapon in your game, check out the link in the description. It'll be down there. Hopefully there's an Xbox port very soon too. Thank you very much for watching, guys.